The civil society organizations, CSOs, under the umbrella of Climate and Sustainable Development Network, CSDevNet, have deliberated on the need to ensure effective implementation of climate change issues across the country. The network urged government at all levels and relevant stakeholders to intensify efforts to ensure that issues deliberated at the COP27 conference in Sharm el-Sheikh, Egypt in 2022 on climate change challenges were strongly implemented. The organizations said this at a post-COP27 multi-stakeholders national consultative dialogue organized by the network in Abuja. The chairman, Board of Trustees of the network, Professor Ibrahim Chaji, said that the essence of the meeting was to x-ray the outcome of the COP27 and to profile a way forward as a country. Chaji, who expressed worries over slow implementation of the climate change issues, urged all relevant stakeholders and government agencies to put more effort into addressing the climate challenges in the country.
The essence of this kind of a meeting is to sort of engineer more action so that we can pressurize government to be on its toes. The good thing is that the climate bill has just been approved, and I think it's a good way forward. So we hope that we, the CSOs, the non-state actors, will pressurize the government to take further action on this. CSDevNet is a conglomeration of over 400 NGOs, members cutting across all the countries, doing various activities both in the urban and in the rural areas. We are expecting that whatever we agree on here, it will be cascaded to the grassroots.
The National Network Coordinator, CSDevNet, Mr. Atayi Babs, said the organization meets every year with relevant stakeholders and government officials after attending the COP to deliberate on the outcome of each COP and make public its findings and recommendations. Atayi said after the deliberation, the stakeholders will provide a strong communique which would be presented to the federal government to know the outcome of the negotiation and ways to advance.
This post-COP27 event that we have organized is an annual tradition that we do as Climate and Sustainable Development Network every year. For the past 11 years, when we attend COP, we bring back to Nigeria the issues that took place in the COP as it relates to Nigeria as a government, as it relates to the Nigerian civil society, and as it relates to other non-state actors like the private sector and interest groups within this space. Climate and Sustainable Development Network is the leading coalition of civil society organizations that are working on climate and sustainable development. And our objective is to facilitate a climate resilient and sustainable Nigeria. And it is in line with that objective that we are organizing this post-COP27 event so that Nigerians will be made aware of what happened at the COP27 in Sharm el-Sheikh and how does it affect Nigeria. What are the key gains of COP27 and how can Nigerians derive benefit from it? How can Nigerian civil society be mobilized to ensure that the gains of the COP trickles down to every nook and cranny of the country?
Also, Dr. Sam Ogala, Climate Finance Advisor at the Commonwealth Secretariat, said that the Secretariat had engaged various programs to support the countries for effective implementation of climate issues.
Under our climate change program, we have a lot of initiatives that are supporting our members. To mention but a few, and also because Nigeria is a member of the Commonwealth, this program also touch on what Nigeria is doing in the field of climate change. We're supporting our member countries in terms of access to climate finance, project development, to help them access resources that they need to implement their nationally determined contribution to the Paris Agreements, which is the NDC. As you may know, finance is key to climate change adaptation and mitigation and climate change action. And because of the limited capacity of member countries to access climate finance, the Commonwealth Secretariat see it as a need to come up with what we call the Commonwealth Climate Finance Access Hub, which is supporting our member countries in terms of resource mobilization, in terms of project development, pipeline project development, to be able to access finance to address the climate change action, of which Nigeria is also a member of the Commonwealth, like I mentioned.
Dr. Priscilla Achakpa, founder and executive director, Women Environmental Program, WEP, commended the government and other stakeholders for their commitment and strong participation at the COP27 in 2022.
From the perspective of gender and from the Nigerian participation, I would say that Nigeria did very well during this time around. Their participation was very interesting, I must say that. From the gender perspective, before we went to COP27, we had mobilized the Africa through what we call the African Feminist Task Group. We mobilized and we had our own demands before we got to COP27. And some of our demands, I would say that were largely met. One of them was the establishment of the Fund for Loss and Damage, which was established. And of course, some of the issues on gender, which I personally negotiated on behalf of Nigeria, we were able to get that into the document, even though we did not get like a document that we wanted, but at least we got some issues that were outlined in the document that we really wanted. So I would say that COP27 by and large was fair, even though we cannot say that it was 100%, but it was fair.